You there. Stop. I have a very important question for you. What is it that you have on? And why is it so sexy? Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. If you're wearing one of these 15 fragrances that I'm gonna talk to you about today, that is going to be a common occurrence. That's right. These are fragrances that are so good, they'll have you smelling so good, they'll stop people in their tracks. Was that a bit of an exaggeration? No, of course not. It will happen with regularity, people stopping you and saying, that is so good smelling, what is it? Hopefully you're not taking me completely seriously there. That's not gonna happen like that, no. But are these bona fide compliment monsters? Yes, these fragrances smell fantastic and the overwhelming vast majority of people will let you know. So let's jump into it, let's talk about them. Like usual, we got a nice little mix here, some niche, some designer. I'll have them linked in the description below. And if you choose to shop at twistedlily.com or maxaroma.com, use the code GENTS10 to save yourself 10% off your order. Or at luckyscent.com, use the code 10GENTS, same thing, 10% off. I will start with an obvious one because I must. It is from Creed. The House of Creed, not the band of Creed, and the fragrance is Aventus. Yes, of course, Aventus. This fragrance has been knocked off more times than is possible to even count. It's a mathematical impossibility to count how many times this has inspired other fragrances out there. It is a fragrance, though, that works in any situation, versatility unmatched. Any season, daytime, nighttime, that stuff will work. It'll have you smelling like an absolute king. It has a pineapple note that's very well known across the entirety of fragrances at this point. So much so that when a fragrance has pineapple, the first question out of people's mouths is, like Aventus? Bleh. No. But that pineapple note is just so well known, so ingrained now that when people think pineapple, they think Aventus. And then as it dries down, you have some black currant, you have birch giving it this woody smokiness. Great fragrance, quite expensive. But if you're looking for one that you can wear anytime, any place, any situation, any age, and it's gonna work, Aventus. Up next, another very obvious one, so I want to get it out of the way. It's Dior Sauvage, the Eau de Toilette. It is one of the best-selling men's fragrances on the market. Just about everybody that has a fragrance collection has a bottle of Sauvage at this point, whether the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, or Sauvage Elixir. I left out Sauvage Parfum. Sorry, Sauvage Parfum. You're not as popular as your brothers. This has that metallic ambroxan, very fresh. It's got a good amount of bergamot in the opening, some lavender as it dries down. This is basically like your quintessential men's blue fragrance at this point. Like you're looking for a modern masculine fragrance that people are gonna love that has great performance. That is Sauvage. Let's switch it up with this next one. Let's go with this Ralph Lauren Polo Red Extreme. Now with Ralph Lauren, Polo Blue seems to get most of the love. Most flankers coming out nowadays are some iteration of blue, this or that. Deep blue, blue, Eau de Parfum, blue, gold blend, blue, 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 Polo Blue. Popular. Polo Red, though, does just as well as Polo Blue fragrances as far as pulling compliments goes. Actually, I think some of them are a lot better. Polo Red Intense was actually my favorite, but that one is close to impossible to find nowadays. Polo Red Extreme, not easy to find, but easier than Polo Red Intense is. This has a very nice coffee note to it, along with a bit of blood orange. So it's going to give you a different style of fragrance than anything else we're going to talk about here, but it still maintains that attention-grabbing nature. And that one I think is fantastic for this time of year. In case you're watching this in the future, I am shooting this in October. Let's go with a niche one next. Parfums de Marly's Percival. Yes, Percival smells a little bit like Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, a higher quality Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. So this one opens up with a nice citrus blast. You've got some florals as the fragrance dries down, some supporting floral notes, a bit of woodiness in the base and additional sweetness. You even have a little bit of spiciness through here as well, some fresh spice. Percival is one of those scents that sometimes you might overlook because it does have that similarity to Fierce. So you might think, well, it's not unique enough. But I will tell you what, if you're just after attention and compliments and stuff like that, man, Percival is one of the best niche fragrances out there. After that one, let's talk about Man in Black from Bulgari. Now, this is a little bit similar to Spice Bomb. from Victor and Rolf, but I actually find Man in Black to be a little more interesting than the Spice Bomb. I know. Ugh. Man in Black, though, adds one of my favorite things, well, at least in fragrances, makes it sound like I have a problem, booziness. It adds a nice boozy edge to it, which sets it apart from Spice Bomb. Also smooths it out slightly. Fantastic performance with this one. Man in Black used to be very affordable from discounters. It's still available at discounters, just not as cheap as it used to be. But even at its current price, it is worth a scoop. That stuff is nice. And after that, Hype Beast Galore Ultra Mall from Jean Paul Gaultier. This one has lost its Jean Paul Gaultier Hype Beast status. It has been replaced by Le Male Le Parfum. This one is more youthful, it's sweeter. A lot of people would say that this is a night out fragrance, a clubbing fragrance even, because it does have that powerful sweetness. As I said, that projection is very good, lasts a long time. It is extremely appealing. And I think anybody middle-aged and younger, if you're looking for a fragrance that's going to cut through a crowd and immediately get you some attention, check out Ultra Mall. There's a reason that was hyped. Back to niche. Let's do the second Parfums de Marly that I have here. It's Leighton. I have to bring it up. I know, I'm sorry, it's obvious, it's like a Ventus, but Leighton. Fall and winter time, you're looking for a sexy, sweet, spicy fragrance with a good amount of warmth that is going to just crush what anybody else is wearing. That's going to give you amazing performance and have just one of the tippy top compliment factors, as if that was a thing that you can really quantify, of any fragrance. Here recently, there was a big blowout sale on Joma Shop for Parfums de Marly fragrances, and surprisingly, Percival was one of the first ones to sell out, and then Leighton, of course, also. Let's go with this guy next, Invictus Victory. V for Victory here from Paco Rabanne. And this one does not really smell like Invictus. No, it does not. And that actually makes me love it more. Oh, look at you, you rebel, doing your own thing. Rebel without a cause. It's a strong performer, which we always love, right? Beast mode fragrances, long-lasting fragrances. Really nice performance here. A lot of vanilla, a lot of tonka. A little bit of a similarity to Pure Excess from Paco Rabanne, which I also like. So this one gets multiple thumbs up from me. 2 to be precise, that's how many I have. So, and it does very good at pulling attention and compliments. To be fair though, the Invictus line in general does pretty good. Let's go next with Acqua di Gio Profondo Lights. I faked myself out. I was reaching for one over here and I was like, nah, this one. Now, this is an Acqua di Gio, obviously. I don't need to say too much more than that because Acqua di Gio as a line is like tailor-made to just get attention. That's what it is. I should know because I went through about 50 bottles. That's an exaggeration, but I went through a lot of bottles of the original Acqua di Gio when I was like 18, 19. And the reason that I kept buying it as if it was some illegal substance that I was addicted to was because every person that would come into contact with me would just be like, you smell so good. So this one obviously has that aquatic feel that you would expect from an Acqua di Gio. It's got a nice mandarin blast off the top. It has some aromatic notes, a little green edge as it dries down, and then some nice woodiness in the base. Very clean, very masculine, and a little bit classy as well. Profondo Lights, versatility through the roof, and compliment factor. Let's go niche again. Raja Parfum Elysium Parfum. Now this is pricey. This is quite expensive compared to most of the things here on the list. It is a blue fragrance, and between the Parfum Cologne and Parfum, at this point, I would get the Parfum if money was no issue. That being said, this is quite a deal more expensive than the Parfum Cologne. So my suggestion to you would be, if you've smelled neither, do try to sample first. To me, Elysium Parfum is just about as classy of a blue fragrance that I've ever smelled. Like, this stuff is extremely gentlemanly without smelling fuddy-duddy, smelling a little too dated, smelling, just a little too out of touch. Elysium you can wear anytime you want, basically. You can wear that stuff casually to the office, obviously more formal situations. Great citrus opening, great life to the fragrance, great depth, as I said before. Performance is good too, lasts a long time, projects well. So for me, Elysium Parfum, that is close to like the pinnacle of the gentleman's blue fragrance. Back to designers. Versace Eros Flame. My first impression of this one was not an amazing first impression. I was just kind of bored with it, I guess you could say. I wrote it off a little bit, gave it more wear, and really came around to appreciate it. So obviously you have that Eros DNA in here. It has a very nice change to the scent profile. It's a little bit fresher, not quite as heavily sweet. And that is not to say that it's devoid of sweetness, because it is not. It has a good amount in there. It's got vanilla, it has tonka. It's just not as much of a straight up like clubbing fragrance that some people would try to pigeonhole the eau de toilette into being. I also really like the addition of Kinoto in the fragrance. I think it gives it a nice little edge. And really all Eros fragrances could be in this list. They all do quite well, just like Zaro's The Most Wanted. The Most Wanted is the one I'm talking about here, but The Most Wanted Parfum or Wanted by Night, those could be in this list just as easily. This one is very warm and spicy, has a delectable kind of gourmand edge to it with this toffee note that it has. The cardamom in here, very appealing, and then an amber woody dry down. Basically, this is like your tailor-made modern man's sweet, warm, gourmand-ish type of scent that's in vogue right now. The Most Wanted and The Most Wanted Parfum are two of my most consistently complimented fragrances right now. So again, if that's all you're after for a fall and wintertime fragrance, check those out. Final niche fragrance, Nishane Hasabat. What's that? Another fragrance similar to Aventus? Yes. The opening is really where people are going to get that similarity to Aventus. Citrus and pineapple when you first spray it on. It has that same appealing quality that Aventus has. And then as it dries down, it has more woodiness in there. You've got oak moss that comes out. You have some cedar wood as well. Little patchouli, little jasmine. Great performance, like you would expect. It's an extrait de parfum. And like Aventus, you can wear this anytime you want. Nishane Hasabat, though, you can find much cheaper than Aventus online from discounters, so that is a benefit to that one. After that, Dior Homme 2020. Yes, Dior Homme 2020, which I at one point in time admonished, and now I love. This one is very woodsy. It's fresh and spicy as well. It is perfect, in my opinion, modern man's fragrance. It does away with the iris that I love from the Dior Homme line, but I've grown to embrace this. And I think that Dior Homme 2020 is perfect for just about literally anybody. Last fragrance, Tom Ford Ombre Leather Parfum. That's really good. And expensive, but really good. This has a wonderful sweetness to it that balances out the leather, in my opinion, perfectly. Violet leaf, jasmine, a little bit of iris in here as well. It's kind of interesting to watch, you know, these Tom Ford leather fragrances go, because Tuscan leather, for me anyway, really kicked it off. And that was just everywhere. People loved it. Then Ombre Leather 16 came out, and people started to gravitate more toward that. It was like it was a little more approachable, a little bit easier to pull off. And then they moved it to the Signature collection, just named it Ombre Leather. And now we have this one, Ombre Leather Parfum. And while I am sometimes a little bit resistant to change for some of these fragrance lines, like Dior Homme, for example, but I came around. I can really get why Ombre Leather and Ombre Leather Parfum have the popularity that they have, because you smell it and you're immediately like, oh, the quality is there. Yes. But then so is the wearability. And sometimes with leather scents, that can be an issue, but not with this one. As I said, I think the sweetness balances everything out perfectly. Great fragrance, great performance, and absolutely an attention grabber. So there we go. We have 15 fragrances that will stop people in their tracks, because they're going to be smelling so freaking good. So good, dude. Trust me. Will I lie to you? Trust me, dude. All right, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, guys. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.